Monkey See, Monkey Goo, Rio D23, Janeiro, Simon Kinberg's Our Only Hope, Stranger Wars coming soon, The Queen's Gambit, Justice for the Nutty Professor, Reeves looking for drivers, David Saslav is Captain Obvious, Daniel Craig's Aloof. Okay, but Stranger Things for real. Follow me alone. Let's take that one again. Folome alone.
There it is.
More like Mickey April 18th. Historian shocked to learn big budget movies aren't documentaries. Jack Black's back. Bunny Man. Do you want to cross the river? Can we fix it? And so much more. But first, news dump. Back it is November, which means that it is once again Movember. I forgot to clean up around my face to really show off the mustache. But once again, we will push the people because we do not have a Movember account that you can donate to. Go to Ryan Davey.
Yeah.
Arvon D. Give him money.
Yeah, I believe coming off last year, he got some sort of certificate recognition for raising over $25,000 over his run for Movember stuff. And to be fair to us, we're more than happy to direct everyone to Davey. But we were on this early, too. 12 years ago, when we were young lads, we were doing Movember, raising money for Movember. So we've been about this for a while. It's a great cause.
Yeah.
Davey's just got a better avenue to do it, so we're happy to direct people there. I'm sure you can find the link to his page on Davey's Twitter and whatnot, so head over there.
We'll post it in the bio as well. I would also like to point out something that is near and dear to our hearts as well, and you can look for this anywhere. Find any kind of a toy drive with Christmas coming up. We go to our local Boys and Girls Club, and we love the idea / actually doing it of donating toys to kids whose parents can't afford it.
Yeah, as someone who spent countless hours as a kid growing up at the Boys Club, and coming from someone who didn't grow up with too much, the Boys and Girls Club and all sorts of toy drives this time of year are great. And $50, $100 goes a long way. In general, they'll just send you a couple things to get. It's super easy to do if you have the means to do so, and it's pretty rewarding, that's for sure.
Yeah, and coming from someone who my parents got me whatever toy I wanted all the time, I couldn't imagine not growing up with toys.
Yeah, and it puts things into perspective, from that point of view. Like, it might be a kid just wanting one thing, and getting that one thing brings them all the joy in the world. So it's a nice thing to do.
Think back to your Christmas mornings, that one thing that you had wanted the entire year or months leading up to it. You finally got that. You got your N64 and you started cheering like in that commercial.
Everyone is striving to be that N64 kid. That's for sure.
Can we get stupid again?
Yeah, let's do it.
News dump. Monkeys are on the loose in South Carolina, Mac. 43 monkeys because of a careless caretaker. The enclosure was not secured properly, so these monkeys are on the lam. Doesn't that sound adorable?
I feel like you really missed an opportunity for a nice careless taker joke in there. You just said both words instead.
How about this? I'll let you do it. Go ahead.
More like a careless taker failed to secure the enclosure down in South Carolina. Goo!
Yes.
The terrifying things about monkeys and apes is they could be above your head. Death from above.
That could be anything. They could be a boat.
You can't account from death from above, Like, if you get dive bombed with a fucking Superman punch from an ape, you're fucked. There's no defense for that.
I don't think a monkey would jump out of a tree like this. Right?
Oh, you've never seen a monkey jump out of a tree then.
I feel like a monkey always jumps out of a tree like this. Hands up.
That's worse. You could get hit by both fists.
Yeah, they're hands open. Sorry, you can't see my hands right now. Hands open, they're going to latch onto you.
Flying choke?
Flying choke.
I'll tell you. I would rather fight a pack of wolves than like 5 monkeys.
I would say, how many of these little sumbitches do you think what is your max number if you're being attacked by these monkeys? They aren't giant monkeys, but how many do you think you could take down if it's you versus monkeys?
If it's like a capuchin monkey, I could probably take 20. Just grab
We've
one as a
already
weapon.
discussed a capuchin monkey. What if
Yeah.
it has a knife?
Wow. I'm not too afraid of the capuchin because I
Well,
think I
what if
can
hold
very
up. So
easily turn it into a mace.
yeah, but what if it's a capuchin monkey and like you look at it, it has nothing in its hand, and then out of nowhere it sneaks a knife and it's holding it with its tail
Well,
and it
okay. If
tricks you.
if we're talking a magician capuchin monkey, that's a whole other story. I didn't know it was trained in the ways of sorcery. If we're talking like a regular monkey, you think in your head, maybe I could take like 3, but I don't know, man. Those things can fucking climb all over you. I don't know. Maybe they could choke you with their tails. I'm not gonna have any claim to fame with monkeys. I'll fight 3 wolves before I'll fight a pack of monkeys.
So you want no more than 3 monkeys.
I don't know. I don't know how large the monkeys are, and there's so many different kinds of monkeys and sizes of monkeys. I have no confidence in my fighting skills versus monkeys.
They have not found these monkeys, but some have been spotted in wooded areas around the facility.
Yeah, all set with that. If there's a tree near you at all in the world, monkeys could be death from above.
Mac, you also had this note, a really
Yeah.
stupid note, I would say.
No, fuck you. Speaking of apes, Goo, Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg. You've heard of him, world famous Snoop
Who?
Dogg. Snoop lying for a little bit. I guess he's back to Snoop Dogg. Says he's working on a movie inspired by his love for Planet of the Apes, but with a twist, Goo. I'll give you one guess as to what that twist might be.
I can read the notes. Can I just say what the notes
Yeah,
say?
go for it.
Dogs.
Yeah. Just imagine Planet of the Apes, but instead of apes, they're dogs. So Snoop Dogg's really in his bag on this one.
I mean, we kind of got that in Up, didn't we? The Paradise Island was
Yeah, I feel like
dogs.
Snoop Dogg maybe smoked one too many joints and really thought this was more creative than it was.
He does smoke weed. You're right. But also, dogs aren't as advanced as monkeys. Like monkeys and apes are one step away from saying, "Hey, we've had enough of you."
Dogs don't have thumbs. They're never going to take over the world.
They don't have thumbs, but I did read yesterday because I was looking up bear attacks yesterday.
Oh, sure.
And I did come across that dogs are responsible for a lot of deaths every year. But you could probably put that on humans too for mistreating them. I don't know.
Like dogs killing humans?
Yeah,
Probably small humans, right? Like kids, I'm guessing.
possibly. I don't have the sheet up in front of me. And don't fact check us or
Mhm.
go ahead and do. It's up to you. Go to Google. Just type it in. Google has a great AI search now that does nothing for you.
Doesn't help you at all.
I hate it. What the old Google wasn't broken.
Didn't
Why
need to
did they
fix it.
do this to us?
And moreover, like, let me figure out what I'm trying to search. The joy of putting together the words, stringing together the words to figure out what I'm searching. Don't give me suggestions. I don't need your AI bullshit. Let me figure it out on my own.
Like the 2 greatest creations in the history of the world is the highway system. Think
Mhm.
about that for a second.
Sure. The interstate system.
And then also just Google.
I'd throw porn in the mix. Top 3.
Should we do an episode, top 10 greatest inventions of all time?
Yeah, why not?
We've already got 3. We only need 7 more. We're 30% there.
Do you think that
And you know what I might do? I might Google it.
before we had camcorders and recording devices as such,
Yeah.
that there was like drawn pornography, like way
Oh
back
yeah,
when?
you look at cavemen drawings or the hieroglyphics.
There was just cavemen fucking.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you could really let your imagination run wild when you're drawing them.
Sure.
Like, look at the size of the feet on this lady. That's what you're into, right?
No, not a foot guy at all.
Giant
I'll
feeted
listen.
broads. Yeah.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kink shame on this podcast.
Mhm.
I don't understand the foot thing. I don't get it.
Well, guys, tell us at home. What do you think? News dump. 23 Brazil is taking place this weekend. We'll be getting some major Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar news. I think that we'll just do a news dump at the start of next week, depending on the amount of news we get from there.
Yeah, we got Penguin finale as well. So,
Oh, F us. We're
Yeah.
doing Penguin first.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that after.
This will be interesting because it does feel like the last couple of years we've actually gotten some pretty good tidbits from D23.
Yeah, I want to
Brazil.
say the Brazil D23 had a lot of Ant-Man stuff before Ant-Man came
Yeah,
out.
I think you're correct.
And we all loved Ant-Man.
Loved it.
Yeah. News dump. Mac, news has come out that a new Star Wars trilogy, 10, 11, and 12, will be written, developed, and produced by everyone's favorite X-Men writer/director, Simon Kinberg.
So I have two separate thoughts here,
Mhm.
which I guess you could tie together. Number one, is the Ray solo film dead, or is it gonna be?
Or is it this?
Yeah, that's thought number one. Thought number two: the Simon Kinberg X-Men movies are bad.
Mhm,
However, that X-Men series
mhm.
was a bit hamstrung, being at the MCU was in full
No,
swing.
no, 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 no,
It
no. He
was.
had no, 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 no,
It
no, no, no,
was.
no. Do not defend him.
I'm not
He had
defending.
he had 2 Dark Phoenix movies and fucked them both.
I said a bit hamstrung. I didn't say he's not without
He
to
was
blame.
given the best
He
source
still he
material.
still had a second hamstring to work on, and he did not do it well. That said,
Yes.
his one entry into Star Wars Rebels, fantastic.
Okay, yeah,
So
so credit where
maybe
credit
we'll
is due.
give him a do-over here because he is 1 for 1 in Star Wars stuff. And the fact that they're allowing one person to write, develop, produce all
No,
3
and I
movies
love
is a
that.
good
That's
thing.
my favorite thing about it is that he's
Yep,
attached to all 3 from the get-go. It isn't
yep,
he's gonna develop episode 10 and then we'll see where it goes from there. It's one person, all 3. Let's get a singular vision. Let's have an idea of what we're gonna do in the first movie and then carry it through all 3 movies.
yep, and again, not to defend his X-Men movies.
You love Simon Kinberg. Mac loves Simon Kinberg.
He had Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, which were the 3rd and 4th movies in a series, so, like, he didn't get in there from Jump Street either.
He was a big part of X3.
Oh, Last Stand, was he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, not great. Not great
No,
at all.
you some of the biggest, most well-known comic book stories of all time.
But I
Yes.
think we are, now what, almost 20 years removed from X3
Mhm.
and what, a decade removed from Dark Phoenix. I don't know, 8 years removed from Dark Phoenix. I think we have sort of all acknowledged that I don't know if they could ever do a Dark Phoenix saga on the big screen appropriately.
Oh, give me an HBO series with that.
Oh,
And
now we're talking.
I know that Disney owns it,
Now we're talking.
but I need the production value of HBO. And I mean no offense to Disney Plus, but they all kind of look and feel the same, a little hollow at points.
Mhm.
I need that dense, dark, gritty HBO feel.
In.
Maybe you make Wolverine Italian
I'm
and he's
Simon
and
Kinberg,
make him from Jersey. That's what I want.
wearing a wife beater always.
Wearing a wife beater, eating gabagool around every corner, just like our penguin friend. News dump. Got a trailer for Skeleton Crew. This is coming out on December 3rd. Stranger Things meets Star Wars, and you said I never trust Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law is supposed to be a protagonist in this. I don't trust Jude Law ever. He's a real son of a bitch. I don't believe Jude Law is a good guy, and supposedly he's the good guy in this, helping out the skeleton crew of chillins in this. And I
You
gotta
know who
say,
else wouldn't face it? You know who else wouldn't trust?
who?
Sienna.
Yeah, there you go.
I just looked it up. He cheated
Sienna
on her?
Miller. Is that who you're talking about?
I don't know. Is that who he
His
cheated on?
ex-wife. Yeah.
There we go. Yes.
Um, I don't know how I feel about this. This seems like a pretty lighthearted endeavor into Star Wars. I don't think any people are gonna have huge expectations going in though, so I guess maybe that's a good thing. It does give you some Stranger Things vibes meets Star Wars, so I don't know. Could work.
According to Google Search AI, Law had cheated on his then fiance with his children's nanny, Daisy Wright.
Yeah, that was like 10, 15 years ago.
That was in 2005,
20?
2005.
Come on.
Yeah.
That long ago?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I gotta say, Jude Law looks pretty good for however old he is.
News dump. According to Ryan Reynolds, and he told this to EW, Marvel is obsessed with Channing Tatum's Gambit.
I mean, it makes sense to a certain degree. I don't want to start down a path though where we're getting a solo Gambit movie,
Mhm.
right? Like, sure, maybe include him in some future projects, but don't why it was so magical and why it worked so well is because we got like 15 minutes of it. If we had gotten
Also,
an hour of it, it probably wouldn't have been as great.
are they just looking at it because he's a great meme, he's a great GIF, he's a great soundbite, and people keep sharing it on the internet? So they say, let's strike while the iron is hot on this character?
Well, I think, like, obviously in the animated series, Gambit is a pretty serious
Yeah.
character, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but that Cajun accent is so thick, it does sort of make him a ridiculous character. So I'm okay with the way they leaned into the ridiculousness of it. And so the cinematic version of the character, if they keep going this route, is going to be a bastardized version of the actual character. But again, I'm okay with that if because we hadn't gotten Gambit really. We got him in X-Men Origins, right?
Mhm.
And that
Yeah.
was it. So I'm okay if we get any version of Gambit, I think I'm okay with it.
Also, I don't really want this version of Gambit back again. I'm not here to shame anybody, but I need a thinner face.
We're not kink shaming here, Goo. Come
We're
on.
not kink shaming here. Reynolds also said it's kind of like my situation because people needed to see my Deadpool to really love my Deadpool, and that's what he's saying about the
It's not
Gambit.
quite the
That's
same though,
I
because
don't think it's the same at all, actually.
yeah, because we got 2 hours of a solo film
Well,
compared
no,
to
no, no. So
15
what?
minutes.
No, well, what Reynolds did is before his movie took off,
Yes.
he leaked and he said he didn't do it, but then he admitted, yeah, I did it. He leaked footage of his Deadpool movie, and everyone's like, "This is the best."
But again, the character situation is not all the same.
News dump. Reynolds was also asked if he would appear in the Avengers Doomsday movie as Deadpool, and he said, "I'm not even being cagey. We'll see what happens there."
I mean, it seems rather obvious that he's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
Because I think we're done with the Deadpool solo movies, and he is such an awesome character.
He's also
And
their most marketable character.
at this point,
Him
that's
and
for sure
Wolverine, they're
true.
both gonna be in it.
Yep. And I think we need to see him react with other characters. And like in the grand scheme of Marvel shit, he could be pretty important. And with the introduction of spoiler alert, if you didn't watch Agatha all along, skip ahead 31 seconds. With the introduction of death in that series,
Yeah.
they have storylines that are tied into each other that could mean something going forward.
Thinking of the most marketable characters that Marvel has right now, you would think it's Wolverine, Deadpool, Spider-Man, and
Spider-Man's probably
then
number one.
okay, but after those 3,
Yeah.
like, would you say Doctor Strange? Because I don't
Yeah,
even think
probably.
Thor is that marketable when looking at the box office of his solo movies. I just refer to him as, like, an actual human being, of the characters' movies.
Yeah, Strange and Thor probably 4 and 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but news dump. Reynolds also said that he wants comedies to be recognized at the Oscars, saying one of the greatest injustices is that Eddie Murphy doesn't have an Oscar for The Nutty Professor.
First of all, this is one of the more ridiculous statements. And Ryan Reynolds is really not even lying here. I think he's
Mm.
being dead ass serious about how much appreciation he has for Eddie Murphy and what he did within the Nutty Professor movies. But
Hercules.
that said, if you were going to do this, then you got to give something to Mike Myers for the Austin Powers movies, and I don't think either.
So what you're
deserves
saying, okay,
what we're
so
doing
first
here.
off, I think that what they should do is like, they should just give the award for what happened this year. But you want to go back in time and like
Well,
Mike
I'm just
Myers
saying, like,
deserves credit
if
for
we're gonna
this in
go down this path,
1999.
like, what are we just gonna get into a battle of who can play the most characters in one movie? Like, come on.
For the year 2001, Dana Carvey gets the award for Master of Disguise, Pistachio Disguisey.
Turtle.
Turtle. Am I not turtly enough for this turtle party?
Turtle Club. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Sorry. I'm so upset that there was a rumor that had run amok on social media for a while
Mhm.
because of the year that the Master of Disguise came out, the Dana Carvey vehicle
Yeah.
that they had shot 20 minutes after 9/11,
Yeah.
and they had to disprove it and be like, that didn't happen, guys.
Yeah.
Because what a
Goo
story that would have been.
That's a ridiculous story.
Yeah.
One quick tidbit about Reynolds as well. There's been a lot of rumors or desire on the internet the last couple months to have him and Hugh Jackman host the 2025 Oscars. He
Mhm.
said that will not be happening, but he does hope that someday he gets the opportunity to host the Oscars.
Also, when it comes to comedies, I do think, like, don't give them their own category, but maybe you can introduce some actors that are in comedy movies into Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, or for Best Movie. There's already 10 nominees anyways.
Yeah, I totally understand what he's saying and what you're advocating for here. The issue is, and we talk about it all the time with comedies, is like drama, thriller, all those things are like most people will agree on what makes it good in those categories. Comedy is a complete crapshoot. Like you're never gonna get people to agree on that, especially critics who fucking love sniffing farts. So that's always gonna be a tough
Well,
territory.
if they like sniffing farts, The Nutty Professor is right up their alley. That whole movie's all farts, Mac. Have you
Yes, it
seen it?
sure is.
Both of them.
Produced by the hashtag Dork Podcast.
News dump. Matt Reeves said in Interview Magazine, I wonder what they do there, that there'll be future The Batman spinoffs that'll be character-driven like The Penguin, saying Oz's story is Oz's story, and the idea is to do these other stories in the same way. And rumor has it, that possibly the next one could be the Joker. And of course, he'd be a villain in the third movie, so that might be where they introduce him or reintroduce him. But I'll tell you this much, I'd rather a lesser-known character.
Yeah, I agree. I think the lesser known characters play up more in these style of
Mhm.
series. Um, I'm kind of just gonna ignore the main topic here altogether and
How
just
dare you?
go on a parallel topic here. We talked about this briefly earlier in the week, and it has been the discourse online as well. We are one episode left in the Penguin, and there is nary a mention of the Batman. They have not even
Yeah.
considered mentioning the Batman. And the more I thought about it, the more it's really starting to bother me that
Did I ruin the show for you? Because I brought this up to you on Monday, and you're like, it's not that big of a deal.
yeah. But if you consider what's been going on, especially at the conclusion of last episode where they blew up a city block
Mhm.
and the Batman's not going to play a part, like we're really stretching it thin here. Like
You think he's
I
in
know we could
Bloodhaven
suspend some sort of
visiting
shit
Selena Kyle?
because again, he's a newish Batman. He is not all that well established. But you're the one that sent me that penguin scene with
I
him
know.
from
That
the
scene is
Batman.
amazing, right?
So it seems impossible. It seems neglectful right now that the characters are not at least mentioning the possibility that the Batman could swoop
Okay,
in
yeah.
with death
So
from above.
two things. Number one, what you're talking about is I don't need Batman in this show. I don't need Batman in the Penguin. But
We
what
don't totally agree.
I
You
need
need the threat of him.
I need the threat, I need the fear, and I need the presence of him in Gotham. Much like at the beginning of the Batman, when people just see his light shining in the sky, or
Mhm.
when people are doing bad things, they know there's a possibility Batman might show up. So in this show, when you have the Penguin, the Falcons, the Maroons, they should have at least a little bit of a mention of like, well, what if that guy shows up? They don't even have to call him by his name, but some kind of a mention of like, well, we're gonna be underground doing these drugs. What is protocol if Batman shows up? I want to see their OSHA meetings.
They should have a Batman protocol for sure. That's
Yeah.
actually a pretty good point. Um, I so this has been the discourse online for a couple weeks now. Pretty much everyone is like, the Penguin's been really good, but and it's a big but. And moreover, if this gets coupled with the fact that I think we've already sort of seen the peak of the show,
Mhm.
I think there's gonna be some decent detractors at the end of this season being like, okay, yes, objectively that was good, but it really didn't make any fucking sense in the context of the universe in which this is happening. And that's gonna be kind of annoying for sure.
And then what else was I going to say? What was it? So it was the Batman part. Oh, the scene from The Batman, because I started watching a bunch of scenes the other day. I'm going to rewatch the entire movie before Sunday night. But there's a scene. It's the first time that Batman meets with the Penguin at the lounge. And Batman slams the Penguin up against the wall. And the Penguin says, "Do you know my reputation?" And Batman says, "I do. Dot, dot, dot. Do you?" And the look on Colin Farrell's face is fucking amazing. That piece of dialogue, like, it gives so much more to this show.
Totally agree. Totally agree. But again, the fact that like the main characters
Mhm.
outside of Sophia should be pretty fucking aware of
Yeah.
the Batman, and it not being brought up is really starting to irk me, and it didn't a week ago.
Like, after every line that everyone says, they should look over their shoulder and go, "Oh, oh, sorry, I thought I heard something. Oh,
You
oh,
see a
oh, oh, ah." Back to the character-driven shows, by the way. I don't think you could do it now because The Substance just came out, and this is a fairly similar storyline, but I would have loved a Clayface story.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a nude Kristen Milioti. I was
I
gonna be
would
on
have
board with
loved
that.
a Kristen Milioti climbing out of Kristen Miliotti's backstory.
In,
No,
in.
but Clayface, where you have this down and out actor who needs to resort to this substance to make him look younger and be more appealing to these directors set in Gotham. That would have been a really, really cool, down, gritty story. And then by the end of the show, he just becomes this monster.
Yeah, I think that's the exact character that one of these shows would work really well for.
Or you could do Scarecrow. You could do Mad Hatter is another kind of weird one too. You
So,
make it real spooky.
I mean, there are theories abound about characters that have been introduced in
Yeah.
Penguin that may end up being other characters in this Batman universe. Are you subscribing to the theory that this doctor guy could be Scarecrow?
Could be him. It could be someone else very similar.
Okay, well, that didn't answer anything at all.
We'll see what happens in the
Could be
final
him or
episode.
could be another guy.
I'm like Jay Leno. I'm gonna ride the fence. Well, I don't know. It might be this guy. It might be that guy. Who knows?
Newton, Massachusetts' own Jay Leno.
News dump. WB CEO, also the CEO of Discovery. I think they're all lumped together, and that
Are
is
they?
David Zaslav said that Joker 2 was disappointing.
Yeah, no shit, dude. No fucking shit. We didn't need you coming out 2 months after the film to tell us that.
Imagine him seeing it the first time. This is a guy who was driven by making money. He has canceled 2 movies for the fucking tax write-offs.
Right.
He sees it for the first time and just goes, "Oh, no. What have we done?"
Canceling those movies that undoubtedly probably would have been disasters, but weren't gonna
No, the
lose as much
Wile E.
money.
Coyote movie, I think, would have made money. I do think Batgirl might,
Fair
looking at
enough.
The Flash and
You
how
didn't let
that
me
turned
finish
out.
my point, Goo.
I don't care what your point is. You've already
Can't
established what your idea is.
canceling those 2 movies, which of course could have been disasters, those 2, and actually seeing this one through and end up losing way more money than you would have lost from those 2 is laugh out loud funny.
News dump. Daniel Craig, while speaking to Variety, was asked who he wants to see play James Bond next, and he said, "I don't care."
Daniel doesn't care to take me to the fair. It
Daniel
seems he
Craig,
doesn't
this like
care.
this puts him like it rises him up in my mind because this is a complete Michael Keaton answer.
When I was first baptized, when I was circumcised, Daniel doesn't care.
News dump. Stranger Things, we have an update and we have episode titles for season 5. It's called Stranger Things 5. It'll take place 1 year after season 4. And right here, I'm not going to read all of these names, but the final one is called The Right Side Up.
Yep, it makes sense because of the whole upside down. I think it would have made more sense to just call the final episode Stranger Things, though, right?
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
Oh.
Mm.
What was the first episode title?
I
I
don't
should look that
know.
up. Yeah, I should have looked that up.
Actually, I did see it was on one of those Twitter accounts that's
Mhm.
like on this date in movie history. The first Demogorgon attack happened 41 years ago, 2 days ago.
I'm glad that there's accounts online that track fictitious timelines for
Yeah.
shit like that. That's
Oh, I
unbelievable.
read them every single day and I'm like, that's interesting. Okay.
The very first episode was titled Chapter 1: The Vanishing of Will Byers.
I might rewatch season 1 again.
The
I love
fi
season 1.
Okay, so this sort of works. The season 1 finale was called The Upside Down.
Okay. News dump. It looks like Macauley Culkin will be joining the cast of Fallout for season 2.
I thought Fallout season 1 was way better than it had any business of being. I'm very much looking forward to season 2.
Macaulay Culkin also dressed as Joe Burrow for Halloween, and Joe Burrow has gone off since.
Macaulay Culkin also famously married to Brenda Song. That is a
Yep.
man that wildly outkicked his coverage.
But Macaulay Culkin's got that cool factor to him.
Brenda Song is like 8 tiers above Macaulay Culkin.
There's something he has a very, because he's not like looking at him. He's not cool by nature, but it's this aura. It's this Home Alone aura.
I guess he's always had the pulse because he
Yeah.
dated Mila Kunis forever too.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do, because I love Christmas. You might know that about me.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy the the newspaper that he's holding in Home Alone 2 on the DVD cover?
Yep.
I'm gonna buy that and frame it and then put it up on my Christmas stuff.
The cover of the newspaper.
Yeah, it says "Wet bandits escaped," and then it's Marv and Harry like,
Okay. I'm sure someone on Etsy makes that.
it's $44. I really need to think it out.
You've already researched.
I've already done my research. Yeah,
How
I
big
thought of
is
this
it?
yesterday. I didn't look at the exact size because once I saw 43, I'm like, I need to take a step back and think about this because I
Yeah.
want just an 11 by 17. I already have a bunch
Sure.
of frames for that,
Sure.
but we'll figure it out later.
And as we all say, size doesn't matter, you know.
Nah, I
Size,
heard people like smaller ones
yeah,
sometimes
size doesn't
too.
matter.
Yeah, it gives you more space to do other stuff in there.
Right. Right.
Yeah. News dump. We are getting a new date for Mickey 17. And while accounts say that Mickey 17 was delayed, this is actually a good thing because it is getting a better release date of April 17th, April 18th, 2025, as opposed to its January release. And it'll now be released in IMAX theaters.
That whole time I was just thinking about how Frya would maybe frame it as I've recently come into some size.
Oh, by the way, he clarified that for us. He said that he was in a commercial where he got scrubs. He didn't murder a doctor, if that's what you thought.
If anyone was thinking that at home. A second delay for Mickey 17 is absolutely not a good thing, Goo.
No,
However,
this is a good thing.
no, it's not.
This is the third delay, by the way, isn't it?
I don't know. Either way, it's
This
not
is a
good.
better date. January is where movies go to die.
This is
April is a
no.
summer blockbuster.
No, this is only good because now we can draft it in the movie draft. That's the only reason this is good.
I'm giving Mac one of these.
Psh.
I also, when I was re-listening to the news dump last Friday where Fryer was on, and he said that he had come into some nurses
Socks.
scrubs, I put my head down like Oppenheimer, and I'm like, I should have asked him if he killed somebody for those. He didn't, though. It's good, though.
Is that how you think people acquire outfits? They murder other people?
When someone says it like that, and it's Fryer, I'm like,
fair.
I
That's
don't
fair.
know.
Yeah, the way it was framed, that's fair.
Like if you said that, I'd be like, oh, maybe his aunt who's a nurse passed away and said, I'm going to leave these to Mac.
That is almost worse. First of all, my aunt dies in the scenario. And second of all, she thinks so much of me or so little of me that she leaves me her used scrubs. And she thinks they'll fit me.
I'm not gonna body shame you or tell you that you're shaped like an aunt. But hey, if the scrubs fit, am I right?
Amen.
News dump. A historian calls Gladiator 2 total Hollywood bullshit for having sharks in a flooded Colosseum scene, saying, I don't think Romans knew what sharks were.
First of all, they probably knew what sharks were. That's a bold assumption. Second of all, they were also mad about the type of rhino showed in the trailer. I guess it would have been a different rhino. I don't know. I'm not read up on rhinos because it's not an animal I would fight. So I don't know shit about rhinos. I like that they're, first of all, didn't mention the first movie at all. Just mad at the second movie. So almost acknowledging that the first movie got things right, which it didn't. And then like getting mad that this one isn't historically accurate. A 25-year fucking later sequel. It's just insane.
And Mac, what did Ridley Scott say about the sharks?
This is an all-time quote. He's been on fire because he also had that quote
He's the
about
best.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
He said, dude, if you can build a Coliseum, you can flood it with fucking water. Are you joking? And to get a couple of sharks in a net from the sea, of course they can. So the way Ridley Scott thinks sharks got in there, that for sure didn't happen. However,
well, my favorite thing with Ridley Scott is all these historians calling out all of his movies, and he usually just says, were you there?
I think they could have like ushered sharks down a stream, aqueduct type of thing and got them there. They definitely didn't capture sharks. I don't think that happened, but whatever.
News dump. We got a trailer for Dear Santa hitting P+. Is that Paramount Plus?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
Paramount Plus on November 25th. It is Jack Black playing Satan, and this is a Farrelly Brothers movie. And I'll just say this up front. Hashtag not my Satan. Give me Elizabeth Hurley or give me death.
This is the Mephisto movie we've all been waiting for. This movie looks
Oh my God, we
fucking
just figured
horrible.
out who should play Mephisto in the MCU. It's Elizabeth Hurley, right?
Oh, oh, now we're talking. Now
Yep.
we're talking. This movie looks really bad. I don't
Yeah.
know how it got made.
It's on Paramount Plus. It doesn't look that expensive. I mean, most of the money probably went to Jack Black just to get him in the
CGI looks
movie.
bad. That's for sure.
This looks terrible, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And it's the role that Black was, made to play. He loves doing Satan in all of his other movies.
Yep. That's
You know who
always
played
what
a
he's
great
saying.
Satan?
Mm.
Dave Grohl.
You know what? He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that video. I
Well,
think
no, in the Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said video. I meant it was a Tenacious D reference.
I think of Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny as 17 separate videos because I watch them on YouTube like that.
I could be on board for a Jack Black playing Nacho Libre as Satan.
That's who should play Nacho Libre in the MCU. Jack Black.
Sure.
News dump. Back, according to The Hollywood Reporter, an action comedy Oregon Trail movie is in development at Apple. Isn't this just the Seth MacFarlane movie that they made a decade ago? Like 1,000 Ways to Die in the West?
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Ted 2?
Without a Paddle.
That's not a Seth MacFarlane movie.
No, it's a Seth Green movie, though.
Correct. That's Seth Green, Matthew Lillard.
I was going to say Dax Shepard.
Oh, it is Dax Shepard. Fuck. I know that Breckin Meyer is the other one, though.
Yeah,
right?
that's I couldn't think of the third one. Yeah.
It's definitely, okay, Breckin Meyer, Seth Green.
And
it's Dax
either
Shepard.
Dax Shepard or Matthew Lillard, but probably
No,
Dax Shepard.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I think I went Lillard. Come on, Goo.
Pre-Kristen Bell, Dax Shepard, too.
Yeah.
Impressive.
That's post-punked, though.
Right around punked. Right around punked.
No, punked definitely got him that spot.
Without a Paddle was like 2003.
When you're able to punk the likes of 50 Cent and whatnot. Huh?
What year was punked?
04? 05?
I think Without a Paddle was first.
I'm going to go punked first, Without a Paddle, then Kristen Bell. That's my Dax Shepard timeline.
That's the only three things that's ever happened in Dax Shepard's life.
Oh, he also has the podcast, the Armchair Podcast Guy.
Yeah, but it's also with Kristen Bell, so it's still.
But that's after Kristen Bell. That's mid Kristen Bell. And then we
it's
also got the refrigerator commercials.
AKB after Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. He is known for Chips, Idiocracy, Hit and Run, and his podcast. Why are podcasts on IMDb? How does that make sense?
We're on IMDb, I guess.
All right. I'm scrolling.
Where is Without a Paddle? He better have been in it.
He
We're
was in
both
the
going to
show.
feel like idiots.
2 episodes of the critically acclaimed Life with Bonnie on ABC.
That was a good
Without
one.
a Paddle, 2004. Without a Paddle, 2004.
When is Punked?
I'm still scrolling. Punked
When did Punked
started
start?
in 2003.
Yes, just before. Goo is right.
Yeah.
Goo is the Dax Shepard historian.
He was in
Eat
9
shit, Mac.
9 episodes of Punked from 2003 to 2007.
Eat shit.
Fuck
Eat
you.
shit.
Actually, no, hold on. Because they would have shot Without a Paddle in like 02 or 03.
But maybe they started doing Punked in 00.
Got you
at
there,
the time of
bitch.
the Jamie Kennedy experiment.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Ah, you're right. I'll give it to you on that. Because Punked was you film it one day and it's on MTV2 the next. No time to produce.
It was like Big Brother editing. Just a quick turnaround.
Get it out there. Get it quick. But this Oregon Trail movie sounds like dysentery, if you will.
Yeah, I totally agree. Don't cross the river. Don't try to float across. Goo, I'm more concerned about the movie you skipped right above it.
We'll talk about that in 1 second. But when playing Oregon Trail, wouldn't you spend all of your money on bullets? That's what I did, at least.
I haven't played that game in so long. I feel like if I played it now, I'd probably hate it.
I mean, you definitely would. Target was selling not a handheld one, but like a personalized one a couple years ago. I never bought it, but I thought about it.
So, What would be a personalized one that isn't handheld?
It's a little computer, then you put it in front of you and you tap away at it.
So not technically handheld because you have to put it down?
Yeah, you gotta put it down, and then you can use your hands to do it, but news dump! Alright, Max, what is this Bunny Man movie?
I
I
don't know.
did
I'm
not see.
interested to hear your thoughts on it. There's a Bunny Man teaser out, and this film follows a superhero who's driven to fight evil to avenge his sister who committed suicide after being attacked. Uh, to think about what Bunny Man looks like, think Batman, but with bunny ears, and he rides a motorcycle. So that's a thing. And this movie is going to be starring Mike Tyson, James Franco, Michelle Maroney, Frank Nero, Anna Golia, and Bella Thorne. So that's a thing that's happening, and I am intrigued.
Who plays Bunny Man? Is it Franco or is it Franco?
I bet it's not Franco, right? Because he's a really bad guy.
Yeah, but Franco is on a renaissance right now.
Man,
He had that
I
interview 2
I
weeks
bet
ago.
I bet Franco's the guy that attacked the sister. Franco
Oh, that
Nero, maybe?
kinda typecasting.
Yeah. Yes. He's really leaning into his reputation.
News dump! Bob the Builder. We've got this movie coming out starring Anthony Ramos as Roberto.
Can we fix it?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
Jennifer Lopez is on a historic run of all-time bad movies that she's producing and making.
All-time bad ideas.
Yes, and this is going to be moving forward with Amazon MGM Studios, so it's probably going to be a straight to Prime thing. And yes, that is correct. As you heard Goose say, the film will be following Bob, the builder, but it'll be named Roberto in this film, played by Anthony Ramos. And the plot is, or the premise is, Goo, he'll be traveling to Puerto Rico for a major construction job and then digs deeper into what it means to build. So that's the Bob the Builder movie in the pipeline here.
I know my first thought when I saw that it was Roberto, I was like, I hope they get the dad from The Waterboy.
Wadiator!
It's me, yo daddy, Roberto. It can be like that Tiger Woods and his daddy.
I saw you on the ESPN.
The Waterboy's great.
Waterboy is great.
They don't make movies like that anymore.
Hey,
they can't.
What's the name of what's her face? The girlfriend that was in that.
Vicky Vale.
And she was in The Craft, I think,
Vicky
too.
Vale.
Like 2 weeks in a row talking about The Craft. I know. What's her actress's name?
I don't know it. The character's Vicky Vale. I'll tell you what.
We should
Kathy
know that
Bates,
name, though.
Mama, she did not like that Vicky Vale.
She did not.
Vicky Vale was very forgiving in
Abdullah
that movie.
Oblongata.
Bobby Boucher not only wet the bed, but had stinky feet. She said, that's what being a man is all
must
about.
have had a hog on him, though, I'm guessing.
That would have been quite the reveal when he showed up for the second half of the Bourbon Bowl.
Just hog dragging on the ground.
Was there something wrong with this boy's medulla oblongata? Damn, that movie's so good. He rides a tractor to school. This is our longest and worst news dump.
It's maybe the best one.
News dump. We are just 2 weeks away. It's been a quiet little spell at the theater the past couple weeks, but we are finally going to be getting Glicked, Jiminy Glicked at the theaters by Wicked and Gladiator.
Fairuza Balk. That's her name. Fairuza Balk.
Fairuza Balk.
She's known for The Craft, Almost Famous, Return to Oz, and American History X. She's in that too. That's right.
Oh, that's right.
She had a nice little run there in the late 90s.
So there's a lot of Boy Meets World actors in American History X.
So,
you get the dad,
weird
Ethan
crossover.
Suplee. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What are you looking forward to more, Wicked or Gladiator?
Gladiator. I'm not seeing Wicked.
I think Wicked for me, easily.
Okay, let's look at what
I'm like the
holding
historian.
Wicked down.
Can't believe it's not accurate.
What, Wicked? I don't like musicals, and I don't like witches. Okay, let me clarify that.
Right.
I don't know any real-life witches. Let's just toss this out there. I'm not trying to...
You wouldn't know if you knew real life.
I wouldn't
witches,
know.
though.
I'm saying witch stories, because they haven't told a new one in a long time. They're all too similar for me.
So you're not like a Sabrina the Teenage Witch type of fan?
Oh, that's a new age
Different
witch story.
category of witch, okay.
Also, when you introduce a talking cat, you got me in.
I like musicals.
Mhm.
I like Ariana Grande, and that's really more than I like about Gladiator 2.
Ariana Grande really had me buying into the theory that Hot Ones has watered down their wings. She did it way too easily.
She's Latin. She's Latina.
She's Italian.
No, she's Latina, I'm pretty sure.
She is Italian.
She might be both, but she's Latina
Look
for
up
sure.
Ariana Grande ethnicity on Google AI right
Yeah.
now, and then
Guarantee
we'll
you she's
solve
both.
this.
Guarantee you she's both.
I can guarantee you she's just Italian.
No, don't agree.
Speak.
I still think Gladiator 2 is gonna be way better than I thought it was 6 months ago, but I don't know. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna watch the movie, Goo,
She is Italian with
and Latina.
Sicilian and Abruzzi roots.
Is Ariana Grande Latina?
She is Italian.
No, Ariana Grande is not Latina, but she is of Italian descent and has been mistaken for being Latina. What are you gonna do?
To be fair, though, Italian, Spanish, same thing.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. I was supposed to see Gladiator 2 last night, but couldn't find a parking spot, so I gave up.
Oh, is that I was you were texting about your parking saga. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I had very little gas in the car. I knew
Mm.
that I
Was
had
it
enough
Boston Common?
gas. Yeah. I knew that I had
Sucks.
enough gas to park and then drive home.
Yeah.
If I did one more roundabout around the common,
Mm.
probably would have stalled out.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. I hear you on that one.
So I went home, just made popcorn myself, enjoyed the night. That's
Yeah,
really
it
all I
is
wanted from the night was some
the
fucking
tough part.
popcorn.
I couldn't make it. I had my actual job,
Mhm.
but it's nice to get those 2-week early ones, which probably tells you the movie's pretty good, right?
Yeah, no, and I've actually seen buzz. I've seen buzz for this. Oscar
Ooh.
buzz, that is.
Wow, some light year around this.
It's also, to be fair, a pretty weak year for movies, so now is the time to strike.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so we'll have Penguin at the start of next week, and then a dump.
Yeah, there you go.
All right,
First time we've had a full week planned out in months.
see you later. News dump.